Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we will be looking at 100 questions on general knowledge. Let's take a look at our Quiz Class awards. And here they are. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end. And our categories for today. This is going to be a difficult one, so let's get ready. We're beginning with physics. First question. In quantum mechanics, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle is fundamentally linked to wave-particle duality, atomic particle behavior, or limits of measuring position and momentum. Limits of measuring position and momentum. What is meant by normalizable quantum wave functions? They can have infinite values, their total probability equals 1, or they describe non-physical states. Their total probability equals 1. What is the significance of the Pauli exclusion principle in quantum mechanics? No two fermions can occupy the same quantum state. In quantum field theory, spontaneous symmetry breaking most directly explains the unification of forces, the stability of atomic nuclei, or the mass of elementary particles. The mass of elementary particles. What is implied about energy fluctuations in quantum systems by the uncertainty principle? Energy is always constant. Energy cannot fluctuate at all, or they can occur over short times. Energy fluctuations can occur over short times. Which quantum interpretation suggests particles have no definite properties until measured? The Copenhagen interpretation, the transactional, or the many worlds interpretation? The Copenhagen interpretation. In the Dirac equation, what do negative energy solutions mean? They represent unstable states, they suggest particles can have no mass, or they indicate the existence of antimatter. They indicate the existence of antimatter. How does quantum electrodynamics use gauge invariance? To describe gravity, to ensure charge conservation, or to simplify particle calculations? To ensure charge conservation. Which of the following choices for local hidden variable theories is demonstrated by Bell's theorem? They can explain all quantum correlations, they support the concept of superposition, or they are incompatible with quantum mechanics. They are incompatible with quantum mechanics. What happens to the interference pattern in a double-slit experiment if which path information is known? The interference pattern disappears, the pattern remains unchanged, or it becomes sharper. The interference pattern disappears. Let's move over to chemistry. Which element is represented by the symbol Sb and was used in cosmetics? Antimony, selenium, or strontium? Antimony. What is the name of the element with the symbol W known for high melting points? Tantalum, tungsten, or wolframium? Tungsten. What element is represented by Ag, known for its historical use in currency? Argon, gallium, or silver? Silver. What is the symbol for the element with atomic number 82 used in batteries and paints? Pb, Pd, or Pt? Pb. What element is Kr, a noble gas used in lighting? Radon, krypton, or rubidium? Krypton. Which element is represented by K and is essential for nerve function? Calcium, cesium, or potassium? Potassium. What is the element with the symbol HF used in nuclear reactors for neutron absorption? Helium, hafnium, or holmium? Helium. What element is Sn used in bronze and for metal coating? Tin, sulfur, or scandium? Tin. What is the symbol for technetium used in medical imaging? Tc, Te, or Tm? Tc. What is the name of the element La used in camera lenses and converters? Lithium, lutetium, or lanthanium? Excuse me. Lanthanium. And let's move over to biology for question number 21. Which organelle modifies, sorts, and packages proteins, especially in secretory cells? Lysosome, Golgi apparatus, or endoplasmic reticulum? Golgi apparatus. Which organelle contains its own DNA and originated from an ancient symbiotic event? Nucleus, ribosome, or mitochondrion? Mitochondrion. Which organelle in plant cells converts light energy into chemical energy via photosynthesis? Vacuole, chloroplast, or mitochondrion? Chloroplast. What organelle synthesizes proteins for the plasma membrane and is studded with ribosomes? Nucleolus, rough endoplasmic reticulum, or smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Which organelle is responsible for breaking down fatty acids and detoxifying harmful substances? Lysosome, peroxisome, or mitochondrion? Peroxisome. Which nucleus structure assembles ribosomal subunits from RNA and proteins? Centriole, nucleolus, or chromatin? Nucleolus. Which organelle provides support, enables cell movement, and aids transport within the cell? Cytoskeleton, Golgi apparatus, or endoplasmic reticulum? Cytoskeleton. Which organelle contains hydrolytic enzymes for intracellular digestion? Lysosome, Peroxisome or vacuole? Lysosome. What double-membraned organelle synthesizes ATP and is the site of the citric acid cycle? Chloroplast, mitochondrion, or Golgi apparatus, or Golgi? Mitochondrion. What organelle in plant cells stores water, nutrients, and waste, maintaining cell rigidity? Vacuole, vesicle, endoplasmic reticulum. Vacuole. Earth science. For question 31, how are global climate systems impacted by the intertropical convergence zone? It cools ocean temperatures, it causes seasonal rainfall patterns, or it decreases wind speeds worldwide. It causes seasonal rainfall patterns. What changes in the Pacific Ocean's conditions lead to the phenomenon known as El Niño? Strengthening of trade winds, increased upwelling of cold water, or warming of sea surface temperatures? Warming of sea surface temperatures. Which phenomena causes rapid upward movement of warm, moist air leading to thunderstorms? Cold front, convection, or subsidence? Convection. In the Köppen system, what does D denote in climate type? Polar climates, tropical climates, or continental climates? Continental climates. In what ways does the Coriolis effect affect the direction of winds in the northern hemisphere? Winds move in a straight line, they are unaffected by the Coriolis effect, or they deflect to the right of their direction. Winds deflect to the right of their direction. What is advection fog? Fog from rising air currents, fog from cooling air at night, or fog from warm air over cool surfaces? Fog from warm air over cool surfaces. Which circulation pattern causes subtropical high-pressure systems and deserts like the Sahara? Ferrel cell, Hadley cell, or polar cell? Hadley cell. What term refers to the boundary between polar and tropical air masses? Jet stream, polar front, or polar vortex? Polar front. What environmental effects can thermal inversion cause in urban areas? Enhanced plant growth, increased air pollution levels, or lower temperatures throughout the city? Increased air pollution levels. Which process redistributes heat from the equator to the poles in Earth's atmosphere? Oceanic upwelling, orographic lifting, or atmospheric circulation? Atmospheric circulation. Let's move over to the human anatomy for question 41. Which brain part regulates homeostasis and hunger? The thalamus, hippocampus, or hypothalamus? Hypothalamus. What memory processes is the hippocampus critical for? Motor skill memory, short-term memory retention, or long-term memory formation? Long-term memory formation. Which neurotransmitter is linked to the brain's reward system and addiction? Dopamine, serotonin, or acetylcholine? Dopamine. Which of the following describes the meaning of saltatory conduction in relation to neural transmission? Slow transmission in large fibers, continuous transmission, or jumping of action potentials in myelinated fibers? And the last one is the answer. Which brain area coordinates voluntary movements and balance, often affected by ataxia? The cerebellum, basal ganglia, or prefrontal cortex? The cerebellum. What is the main role of the blood-brain barrier? Regulating blood flow, facilitating nutrient absorption, or protecting the brain from toxins? Protecting the brain from toxins. Which of the following function does synaptic pruning play in brain development in terms of neuroplasticity? Increasing brain size, eliminating unnecessary synapses, or strengthening all neural connections? Eliminating unnecessary synapses. Which brain region regulates fear and is linked to anxiety and PTSD? The amygdala, the thalamus, or the occipital lobe? The amygdala. Damage to Broca's area affects which cognitive function? Speech production, visual processing, or language comprehension? Speech production. What do oligodendrocytes do in the CNS, and how do they differ from Schwann cells? They support growth. Schwann cells do not. They are in the PNS. Schwann cells are in the CNS. And the last one, multiple axons, myelinate 1 for the Schwann. Political science. For question 51, which ideology seeks to abolish all hierarchies, including government and capitalism, for self-managed, stateless societies? Fascism, anarchism, or socialism? Anarchism. Classical liberalism emphasizes which core principle from the Enlightenment? Monarchy, collectivism, or individual freedom? Individual freedom. Which socialism variant advocates for a revolutionary overthrow of capitalism for communal ownership? Communism, syndicalism, or democratic socialism? Communism. Which statement best characterizes fascist ideology, viewing the state as supreme and all-encompassing? Glorification of the state, emphasis on individual rights, or support for democratic governance? Glorification of the state. Which of the following differentiates libertarianism from other kinds of liberalism? Emphasis on individual freedom, advocacy for limited government, or support for social welfare programs? Advocacy for limited government. Which ideology links to vanguardism led by an elite group? Leninism, libertarianism, or utopian socialism? Leninism. Which of the following ideologies prioritizes environmental sustainability in policy? Syndicalism, green politics, or neoliberalism? Green politics. Which philosophy is connected with positive liberty and the encouragement of self-realization in society? Libertarianism, positive liberalism, or classical liberalism? Positive liberalism. The paleoconservatism is also known as old right, social conservatism, or conservative approach. The old right. In contrast to socialism, which political ideology advocates for economic free markets? Fascism, conservatism, or neoliberalism? Conservatism. Let's move over to social movements. For question 61, what impact did the Haymarket Affair have on the U.S. labor movement? Establish an 8-hour workday, decline in union membership, or increase support for unions? Decline in union membership. Which labor group, founded in 1869, allowed both skilled and unskilled workers? Knights of Labor, National Labor Union, or the American Federation of Labor? The Knights of Labor. What made the Bread and Roses strike of 1912 important? It led to a minimum wage law, was the longest strike in U.S. history, or it involved women and immigrant workers? It involved women and immigrant workers. What was the main goal of the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947? To expand workers' rights, to strengthen labor unions, or to limit the power of labor unions? To limit the power of labor unions. Why was the Great Railroad Strike of 1877 significant? It ended peacefully, it resulted in an 8-hour workday, or it was the first nationwide labor strike? It was the first nationwide labor strike. Which organization helped form the Labour Party in Britain in 1900? The Fabian Society, the Trades Union Congress, or the National Union of Mine Workers? The Trades Union Congress. What was the outcome of the Pullman strike of 1894? Success for the workers, establishment of an 8-hour workday, or federal intervention and the strikes' collapse? Federal intervention and the strikes' collapse. For what reason did the International Workers of the World exist? To promote skilled labor unions, to achieve workers' control of industry, or to advocate for workplace safety laws? To achieve workers' control of the industry. Which labor reform was brought about after the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in 1911? The 8-hour workday, minimum wage laws, or improved workplace safety regulations? Improved workplace safety regulations. Which Polish labor movement led by Lech Walesa helped end communist rule? Glasnost, Solidarity, or the Velvet Revolution? Solidarity. Law and ethics. Which ethical system bases its moral judgment on consequences? Virtue ethics, utilitarianism, or social contract theory? Utilitarianism. And we are at question 72. What principle requires lawyers to prioritize clients' interests over their own? Loyalty, competence, or confidentiality? Loyalty. What term describes the principle against personal gain from one's position? Due diligence, transparency, or conflict of interest? Conflict of interest. Which ethical framework focuses on the morality of actions rather than outcomes? Virtue ethics, ethical relativism, or deontological ethics? Deontological ethics. Which of the following is the main ethical issue with using AI to make legal decisions? Increased efficiency, lack of transparency, or reduced human bias? Lack of transparency. Which principle asserts the right to control personal information? Autonomy, beneficence, or informed consent? Autonomy. Which concept refers to the duty to act in clients' best interests? Duty of care, professionalism, or fiduciary responsibility? Fiduciary responsibility. Which of the following best describes equitable treatment and resource access? Justice, autonomy, or beneficence? Justice. Which bioethics principle refers to the duty to avoid harm? Autonomy, beneficence, or non-maleficence? Non-maleficence. Which of the following choices presents the most significant ethical issue with euthanasia? Societal norms, legal ramifications, or moral permissibility of ending life? Moral permissibility of ending life. Astronomy for question 81. Which answer most accurately describes the significance of the critical density of the universe? The answer is it influences the universe's overall shape. Which process is believed to create supermassive black holes at galaxy centers? Stellar collapse, accretion of gas and dust, or merging of smaller black holes? Stellar collapse. Which of the following supports the existence of dark matter in galaxies? Galaxy colors indicating unseen mass, detection of high-energy cosmic rays, or gravitational lensing of distant objects by galaxy clusters? And the last one is the answer. What is the event horizon of a black hole? The region where light can escape, the singularity point with infinite density, or the boundary beyond which nothing escapes? The boundary beyond which nothing escapes. What type of galaxy has a smooth light profile and mostly older stars? Elliptical, irregular, or lenticular? Elliptical. What composes cosmic microwave background radiation? Hydrogen and helium, gamma rays and supernova, or photons from the early universe? Photons from the early universe. In what ways does a galaxy's rotation curve support the existence of dark matter? All stars have the same speed, galaxies have fixed baryonic matter, or edge stars orbit slower than expected. Edge stars orbit slower than expected. What happens when tidal forces tear a star apart as it approaches a black hole? Spaghettification, singularity formation, or gravitational lensing? Spaghettification. Which hypothesis states the universe is expanding faster due to dark energy? The Big Bang theory, steady state theory, or lambda cold dark matter model? Lambda cold dark matter model. Which law describes the relationship between a galaxy's distance and velocity? Hubble's law, Newton's law of gravitation, or Kepler's laws of planetary motion? Hubble's law. Fact or fiction for question 91. Which of the following statements about octopuses is true? They have 3 hearts and blue blood. They can only live in saltwater environments, or all species of octopus are capable of bioluminescence. They have 3 hearts and blue blood. In human biology, what percentage of DNA do humans share with chimpanzees? Approximately 85%, 95%, or 99%? Approximately 99%. Which statement about the Great Wall of China is false? Includes watchtowers and barracks, visible from space with the naked eye, primarily for protection against invasions. Visible from space with the naked eye. What is the scientific consensus on the origin of the universe? The universe has always existed. It comes from cyclical Big Bangs, or it originated from a singularity 13.8 billion years ago. And the last one is the answer. Which of the following statements about honey is true? Honey is mostly sucrose. It is high in fiber and a good source of protein. Or honey never spoils and is edible after thousands of years. And again, the last one is the answer. Which of these claims about space travel is accurate? The first living creature in space was a human. Astronauts grow taller in space due to reduced gravity. Or space is silent because sound cannot travel in a vacuum. Space is silent because it cannot travel in a vacuum. Which of the following statements about bananas is false? Bananas grow on trees, bananas are technically berries, or the banana plant is considered an herb. Bananas grow on trees. What is true about the animal known as the platypus? Its diet consists mainly of plants, it has the ability to produce venom, or it is the only mammal that lays eggs. It is the only mammal that lays eggs. Regarding human memory, which statement is true? The brain recalls events accurately, memory recall improves with age, or short-term memories become long-term through consolidation. And the last one is the answer. And we are at question 100. Which of the following facts about the ocean is accurate? Ocean water is less salty than fresh water. The ocean covers about 70% of Earth's surface, or the Great Barrier Reef is mainly made of kelp. The ocean covers about 70% of Earth's surface. And our bonus question, which animal can sleep for up to 3 years. Let us know the answer in the comments, along with how you ranked in our quiz class awards. And here they are, so you don't forget. And as always, we thank you for playing, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.